This video will show you how to properly install S-Works Turbo RapidAir tires onto tubeless ready wheels in a tubeless setup. By following the shown procedure, you can safely and confidently install RapidAir tires, which provide many benefits and will considerably improve your bike ride. It's important that proper tools and supplies are used. We suggest you head to your nearest bike shop and get them if you don't have them. They're easy to use, inexpensive, and will ensure that installation is hassle-free. These are RapidAir sealant, tire levers, and a floor pump. You may also use a specialized air tool blast or an air compressor if you need help sealing the tire. However, an air compressor is usually not needed when installing RapidAir tires onto Revolve wheels. If you need to use one, be sure to follow all safety procedures outlined in its user manual. You should always inspect the rim, making sure it's free of any dents or cracks, which can damage the tire. Additionally, any old sealant should be removed for optimal bead engagement. If you're going to use rim plugs, inspect each one carefully to ensure the rubber O-ring is not broken. A cracked O-ring is difficult to detect, so look closely at every plug before installation. When using tubeless ready rim tape, ensure that it's carefully installed with tension and covers the full rim bed surface from outer shelf edge to outer shelf edge. There should be no wrinkles in the tape. If you bought a new set of Revolve wheels or a specialized bike with Revolve wheels, they will come with tubeless ready rim tape pre-installed. Use the tubeless valves that shipped with the bike or wheel set. Install the tubeless valve stem, making sure the O-ring is not damaged and the valve core is tightened. Also ensure the nut is snug. After the nut has made contact with the rim, turn it an additional 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn. Avoid using tools, as this may damage your rim and make it difficult to remove the valve stem. Look for the rotation direction indicator so that the tires are installed in the correct orientation. Center the hot patch over the valve stem for a showroom-ready look. Starting on the side opposite from the valve stem, use both of your thumbs to lift the bead onto the rim, ensuring the beads are placed into the center drop. Be sure to place your thumbs on the bead and not on the tire casing. This makes bead installation much easier. If you're going to add sealant to the tire through the valve, go ahead and install the other side of the tire all the way around the rim. Start opposite of the valve and finish at the valve. Otherwise, leave a small section of the bead off the rim at the valve stem and close the second bead there as well. Ensure that the beads are placed in the center drop of the rim and not sticking on the rim shelf. Typical sealants are not designed for high pressure use in road tires. RapidAir sealant is formulated for road tires inflated to high pressure and for chemical compatibility with specialized tires, rims, rim tape, and rim plugs. This ensures maximum performance. The composition contains specific solid filaments that will ensure that any cuts or holes are plugged up and sealed instantly. Fill the tire with RapidAir sealant by either pouring it into the open tire or through the tubeless valve. If you've poured sealant directly into the tire, spin the wheel gently so the final section of bead can be set without spilling sealant. Check around the wheel, ensuring the bead is centered in the center drop of the rim. The tire bead should be settled around the valve stem, and if plugs were used, none should be visible. Run your fingers around both sides of the rim, making sure the bead is not sticking out at any point. With your floor pump, give 4 to 6 good strokes to get the beads lifted. Continue inflating the tire to the maximum pressure as indicated on the sidewall or on the wheel, whichever is lower. If needed, the valve core can be removed for increased airflow into the tire. We don't recommend using CO2 for initial tire installation, but feel free to use them when roadside repairs are needed. The tire will lift up onto the bead and seal around the bead area. If the tire doesn't lift up easily and remains in the center drop, wet the center drop area with sealant to help the bead slide up to the hooks. Soapy water also works if you don't want to use sealant. Before riding the tire, shake the wheel to ensure even distribution of the sealant as the tire settles into place. Also ensure that the space between the rim line and rim edge is consistent all the way around the tire, on both sides of the rim. Ride the bike for 5 minutes at maximum pressure to evenly distribute sealant inside the tire. Set your tire to your preferred riding pressure afterwards. Always check tire pressure before riding. If you are reinstalling a used tire onto a previously set up rim, be sure to clean the rim bed and tire bead. Old sealant residue will reduce the chances of a successful tubeless setup. New tires are thirsty. After you've completed setup, RapidAir sealant will begin filling in the microscopic holes in the tire. A certain amount of sealant is used for this process. We recommend checking sealant level after 10 hours of riding and refill if necessary to maintain optimal performance and puncture protection. Enjoy your ride.